All right. How about them Cowboys? Y'all watch those games? Y'all watch Cowboys during Thanksgiving? Huh, 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 huh. Well, if you didn't, you missed out on this victory royale we just had. Got Gangster Dak. He's doing No Shave November. By the way, every good thing has a sequel. So now it's Don't Shave December.
So does that mean Christmas is going to January too?
You never know. Depends how good the sequel is, you know. So we'll see. Keep growing, keep glowing, and keep going. Facts. All right, tough crowd. Well, anyways, all your Unit 3 and 4 work is due. You can check Skyward for your updated grade. All work is due next Friday, the 12th. Did you turn in last week's warm up before the break? Question mark. Did you do that test before the break? All right, here's today's warm up. Ready? Now, write an example of a ratio. Now, hold on. What's a ratio? Anyone know what a ratio is? What does it look like? Ratio is a fraction. Y'all know what a fraction is, right? Give me some head nods. Fraction? You know what that is? Okay, yeah. Okay, so a fraction. What fraction is equal to 0.5? What do you think? 1 over 2 is a good example of a fraction that equals 0.5. Hey, now, what's another fraction equal to 0.5? Um, oh, 2 over 4.
5/10.
Hey, I'm going to securely your computer off if you don't look at me right now. Thank you. Now, another example would be you could do 3 over 6, 4 over 8, 5 over 10. Lots of infinite examples of 1/2 as a ratio. All it means is a fraction. Okay, easy warm up. You got it down. Do some quick notes. Did you have a good Thanksgiving break? Are you thankful for your math class? Hell, are you thankful for the funniest math teacher you've ever had? For the work one, yeah. Whoa! Now that's funny. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Woo! Notes on proportions. Okay. So, a proportion is an equation that states two ratios, which, by the way, we just talked about this. A ratio is basically a fraction, something divided by something else. When two ratios are equal, that equation is called a proportion. That's the notes for today. Fraction, equal sign, fraction. Okay? Now, how do you write a proportion? If you have something A divided by something B, that equal sign, something C divided by something D. A over B equals C over D. That's an example of a proportion with variables. And if that's the case, then you do what's called the cross product property. Okay. And that means A times letter D is going to equal B times letter C. Now, the way you may have heard of this before is called the rule cross multiply and divide. Have y'all heard of that before? Cross multiply and divide? Sweet. then you must have done proportions before. And I think you should have, everyone should have already. And then another way of talking about it is the butterfly method. Okay. So write this down.
Well, the root first. Okay. Insert the root in the 45 minutes. Okay. I won't only give you this back. I need you to come. You know, for 5 minutes. Today is your extra. No. You know what? I'll keep it short, and sweet. Sweet like the Calvin victory. Short, not the line already. You know? Glorious. Our aspirations. Victorious game.
Okay. Okay, number one. Y'all ever heard of cross multiply and divide? Hopefully, because we're about to do it. Now, here's how I like to show my work. I emphasized this earlier. I'll say it again. You must show your work, okay? No magic answers, no skipping steps, okay? And the easiest way to show your work is by doing this. Circling the diagonal, okay? You're going to multiply these diagonals. That's what's called cross multiply. So the 2 and the x are going to multiply. So I'm going to put 2 multiply x. Then see this equal sign in the middle right here? You got to put the equal. And then this diagonal, 4 times 7, 4 times 7, that is what you put here. Okay. How about them Cowboys? All right, I got my calculator pulled up. So, 2 times x. Do y'all know what 2 times x is? No. So there's a 1 in front of x, but x is not 1. X is still x. But what you do whenever you have a number times a letter, which means a coefficient times a variable, you just stick them next to each other. 2 times x is 2x. Okay? So 2 times x is 2x. 4 times 7, 28. Okay? Does everyone see how I did the diagonal multiply? Diagonal multiply, that's the cross multiply. And now the last step is divide. To get rid of the 2 in front of x, I divide by 2 on both sides. 28 divided by 2 is 14. That is a cross multiply and divide. Okay? Did you get the top part? Okay. Now, number 2, cross multiply. Here's a cross. 10 and x. 10 times x. Don't forget the equals in the middle. And then 19 and 12 multiply 19 times 12. Now, 19 times 12 is not everyday times table, so calculator's fine. 228. So 10 times x is 10x. That equals 19 times 12 is 228. And then my last step, how do I get rid of the 10 in front of x? Divide. I cross multiplied. Now I divide. Now, 228 divided by 10, when I type that in, it gives me a decimal. Is it okay to have a decimal? Yesimal it is. 22.8 is great. Okay? So, do you see how I'm showing my work? I'm not just spitting out random numbers, okay? Now, there is a step you can kind of mentally do, but you're still showing some work here. Cross multiply. 8 times x is 8x, right? Number, letter, stick them next to each other. 2 times 20, you might be able to do that mentally. 2 times 20 is 40. So if you start with this step, that's fine, but you got to write it down. And then step 2 is divide. Divide by 8. 40 divided by 8 is 5. Okay? Same thing here. Cross multiply and divide. Negative 8 times x is negative 8x. 12 times 11 is 132 if you multiplied it out. Divide by negative 8. Don't forget the negative sign when you have a negative number. So 132 divided by negative 8 is negative 16.5. So don't put positive 16.5 if you mean negative. You got to put that negative sign. All right? Please catch up to this point because the next two are very important because it's got a little extra step. I don't want you to miss it, okay? So I want you to lock in, okay? Okie dokie. Moving it down a little bit. Is everyone ready for 5? Okay, please look carefully at number 5. Do you see the top of this, the numerator of this left fraction ratio is a binomial. There's 2 terms. So what you want to do is when you see 2 terms, put it in parentheses, and you got to treat it with parentheses, okay? So when I cross multiply this, I have this parentheses times 9. So how do I do that? Watch. You put the number by itself here, and then the parentheses goes after it. Okay? 9 times x minus 3 as a whole in parentheses. Always put the equals. And this cross multiply is 18 times 12. Okay? And now, let's do it. This 9 in front of the parentheses is going to do what? What is this called when you put it into the whole parentheses? Does anyone remember what it's called? It is called distribution or distributive property, which means you multiply into each part of the parentheses. So 9 times x is 9x. 9 times negative 3 is negative 27. Okay? 18 times 12. What is 18 times 12? 216. So far, I did my cross multiplying with some distribution. But I want you to notice, and this looks like first week of the whole class, the beginning of the year. This is a 2-step equation. So you have to get rid of the loner and then divide. 2 steps. So what do I get rid of first? The 9 or the negative 27? Which one's the loner? To get rid of a minus 27, I add 27 to both sides. Bring down 9x equals, and then add these up. 243. And then divide by 9. 243 divided by 9 is 27. X equals 27. Okay? Do you see how I did that? So on the right, number 6 here, 3x plus 4 is in parentheses. When I cross multiply, by the way, I don't think I mentioned this. Doesn't matter which diagonal you multiply first, you can switch them around. As long as you're doing a diagonal, for one and a diagonal for the other. Okay. So 18 times 3x plus 4 is 18 parentheses 3x plus 4. And then the other diagonal, after the equal sign, 12 times 15.
That's 1.
So 18 times 3x, 18 times 4. So this should be 54x. And then plus 72 equals, and then 12 times 15 is 180. Get rid of the loner positive 72 by subtracting 72. You get 108. Divide to get rid of the coefficient, and you should get x equals dose. That is your notes. I'm going to pass out an assignment so you can get some practice on this. You got to show you can do it. You can do it. Okay? Here we go.